that time of year again.
Your complimentary Blu-ray, madam.
Ooh, this'll be fun to review. Thank you, MagFest. You're too good to me.
You're welcome.
Wait a minute. Scooby Doo meets Kiss. I probably should have a music reviewer to help me on this one. But who do I know who reviews music?
What?
Hey! Wanna review Scooby Doo meets Kiss with me?
No.
But come on, it'll be fun!
It'll be stupid.
I'm confused. Why does stupid not equal fun?
Go away.
But
Mike.
wait. Hey, babe.
Oh, hey, babe, what's up?
Do you mind helping me kidnap somebody?
That is the most romantic thing you've ever asked of me. Of course. All right, Jack, time to shave my head. We're going to Washington.
You got a lot of nerve coming in to my hotel room and shoving that in my face. Is that all you have to say? What is wrong with you?
Later.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
What's going on? Do you always kidnap people that you have to do reviews with?
Only the unwilling.
Okay, I'm leaving. You cannot keep me here. What is this?
Insurance. It's programmed to shock you with electricity unless you review Scooby Doo meets Kiss with me.
So, if I review this with you, I can go home after.
Yep.
Fine.
Scooby Doo and Kiss Rock and Roll Mystery is the newest in the series of direct-to-video Scooby Doo movies. The film prior, Wrestlemania Mystery, was a surprisingly well-received film, and I was pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed it, despite not being terribly familiar with wrestling in general. This time, Scooby and the gang team up with Kiss to solve a mystery at a Kiss-themed amusement park. So, to help me tackle this review, I've asked
Forced.
Luke Spencer of Rock Reviews to help me tackle the film. You ready?
Do I have a say in the matter?
No, not really.
Yeah, let's dive right into Scooby Doo and Kiss Rock and Roll Mystery.
We begin with a shot of Kiss World, the new Kiss-themed amusement park, which will be the setting for the film.
If this park is anything like the real band Kiss, the whole ground is going to be covered in syringes and underpants. 2 employees of the park are trying to test out one of the roller coasters.
Good, man. Now give me another one.
Why does the guy have to be screaming on the roller coaster just for a photograph? Why can't he just keep his mouth open so he doesn't lose his voice? Literally, the first minute makes me feel like a moron for watching this.
Oh boy, you're in for one hell of a ride!
Oh my gosh.
Apparently, a weird red fog has been showing up in the photos lately, and as the workers discuss this, the red fog appears.
What is it?
You know, witch is not the first phrase that comes to mind when I see that woman.
Yeah, she looks like she just came from Valhalla. The villain of the film, the Crimson Witch, forces the workers onto the ride, constantly screaming the same phrase over and over at them.
Oh man, I think we lost her.
Is that all she says in this movie?
Mostly, yeah.
Great.
After escaping, the workers go to the boss of the amusement park, Manny Goldman, voiced by veteran actor, director, producer, and writer Gary Marshall.
That's the whole point of this park, isn't it? To excite and fright. Now get back to work.
Why does this guy sound like he's taking a shot of bourbon before every spoken line?
I'm not exactly sure what they were going for here, but don't worry, it gets more tolerable as the movie goes on.
Really?
No.
Ah.
Only one thing we can do. Get me the hottest mystery solvers in the world.
It seems that the gang have been called in to solve the mystery of the park, but have decided to go the professional cosplay route. Also, I'm not the most makeup-savvy person here, but why is it that Daphne is using what looks like mascara to fill in the star? That really doesn't seem very practical.
Fred's role in this movie is to be the stick in the mud who just doesn't get Kiss, and instead likes to listen to silly doo-wop groups like the Ascot 5.
Don't tug my ascot. Don't pull my ascot. It's not a Scot. No, baby.
Fun fact, that is actually Kiss singing that song. I don't think they should leave the rock and roll business anytime soon, though.
Like, dude, don't most people usually run towards awesome rock concerts?
Not at an Ascot 5 concert. Everyone walks in a calm, orderly fashion.
Okay, has Fred always been a weird parody of himself in these movies?
Kinda depends on the movie. When the gang tries to enter the park, they are stopped by the chief of security, Delilah Domino.
Park's closed.
But we're here to solve a mystery.
Sure you are. You always wear makeup when solving crimes?
I should hope so.
Well, gee, they're not taking you seriously. Shocking.
Turns out that Daphne lied about them getting called about a mystery at all. She just wanted an excuse to come to the Halloween concert.
So they just happened to stumble upon a mystery.
You haven't watched a lot of Scooby Doo, have you?
Plus, I thought the odds were pretty good there'd be a mystery for us to solve. I mean, we're the Scooby Gang, and it's an amusement park.
They ditch the costumes and makeup and sneak into the park as Manny and Delilah discuss the security of the park.
I'm going to be very honest with you. I called for some backup.
Backup? You must be kidding.
Oh, right. We assumed Manny called them. Who did he call?
Please don't tell me it's who I think it is.
Apparently, if Kiss doesn't perform their concert tonight, Manny will lose the park. He tries to reason with Kiss's manager, Chip Magoo, voiced by the actual manager of Kiss, Doc McGee. Magoo doesn't like having Kiss perform at the park because they aren't making money from it, apparently.
It means that they're not on the road performing and I'm not selling their merchandise. So forgive me, but as far as I'm concerned, this park can wind up in the toilet.
That's not accurate at all, but whatever. Shady manager is shady. Let's get on with it. Shaggy and Scooby run into the Demon, who scares them by turning into a Looney Tunes character, basically. Then end up crashing into Delilah, and Manny comes outside to check the ruckus.
And now we get introduced to who Manny really called to solve the mystery. Kiss!
And now we get what is admittedly a pretty cool opening credit sequence. It incorporates iconic shots from the original Scooby-Doo opening, while also mixing in lots of art styles of Kiss incorporated from various album covers. All to the song I Wanna Rock and Roll All Night.
Come on, guys, these special effects cost money. I told you you can't use them every time you make an entrance.
Nice, that's a surprisingly clever gag. Daphne hangs all over Star Child, who apparently seems to not mind the attention. In fact...
Well, I just caught a glimpse of the future.
Yeah, and I bet the future is a redhead.
You bet. I mean, in a way.
Isn't he old enough to be her grandfather?
Well, the space-time continuum for the Scooby movies is kind of a mess. So I guess in this world, Kiss is at their prime in modern day?
That still makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'll admit his returned affections for Daphne is a bit, odd?
Ew!
Yeah. In the Wrestlemania mystery movie, Daphne hung all over John Cena, but he never made any attempt to flirt back. Here, it comes across as just a bit creepy.
You're kidding. They're just humans.
What? Are they just getting really deep into character?
Let me explain, for those who are unfamiliar with Kiss, a little bit about the band. Okay, Kiss has actually been playing characters throughout their entire career on an amazing stage spectacle, playing names such as the Spaceman, the Demon, the Catman, the Star Child. And for those of you who are wondering how ridiculous this all sounds with a face paint and characters on a stage spectacle breathing fire, it worked amazingly. Kiss has sold millions of copies in many countries and has done a lot of touring over decades. There are very few bands who can ever say that.
And yeah, in this movie, all the current members of Kiss are voicing their counterparts. They aren't actually playing themselves, technically, but rather the characters they play in the band. Starchild apparently has random prediction powers, and he tells the others that he has a feeling that the Scooby Gang will help them catch the witch.
So he has plot device powers. Great. Real creative. The gang splits up to investigate the park. Scooby and Shaggy go off to find some food and end up running into the demon, who apparently had a similar idea. Okay, so most of the time the animation has been really solid, but at times like this, it gets a little bit too animated or cartoony. You know what I mean?
Sort of. It does seem really odd that the animation kind of changes in random sporadic points like this, with the exception of the opening credits, of course. We are then treated to a quick montage of the Kiss-themed rides and a bit of product placement.
And my dynasty star, Ferris wheel, whoa!
A great place to view with Kiss binoculars. Only $24.99.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
And now, for some reason, Kiss decides they need to get into serious business mode and change their costumes.
So, what, are they gonna change while singing?
Not exactly.
Kiss costume change, activate!
What the? It's morphin' time?
Actually, this sequence is copying something else, Sailor Moon.
Huh?
All of their transformation sequences are carbon copies of various Sailor Scout transformations. The Demon is Sailor Mars. The Spaceman is Sailor Jupiter. The Catman is Sailor Starfighter. And the Starchild is Sailor Venus.
Well, that's random.
But entertaining.
Oh, come on.
Relax, Fred.
Where are you going?
Kiss Power! Make up!
So every time a woman told me she needed a few more minutes to put on her makeup, she was straight up lying to me?
Yeah, pretty much. Kiss attributes the transformations to special effects, and we are introduced to Shandy Strutter, the head techie for Kiss.
Fred continues to sing the praises of the Ascot 5 over Kiss, although Shandy seems perfectly happy with him. I guess this is the movie's attempt at a love square?
As Shaggy and Scooby check out more rides, they run into the witch, who continues to repeat that same line again. Give me rock!
They fall into the ride while trying to escape the witch, and now we get the first song to be incorporated in the movie proper, shouted out loud. To be honest, and I'm being completely serious, this actually does sound pretty good. The music sounds more refreshing and more recent than the recorded versions of them in the 70s. They could have just layered those tracks in, but it really feels like they put more effort to re-record them, at least more recently than the 70s, and add something a little bit different here. It works out well.
The witch demonstrates a lot of random powers, making her come across as a lot more intimidating than one would traditionally expect for a Scooby Doo villain. She can fly, summon magical weapons out of nothing, and possess plush toys. The horror!
Well, at least it's something Scooby and Shaggy can fend off. Wait, when did you take off the makeup?
What makeup?
Never mind.
Yeah, that is pretty creepy imagery, even if it is just stuffed animals.
I cannot wait for this movie to explain her Scarlet Witch power. Oh my gosh! Scarlet Witch, Crimson Witch, I just now got that.
Kiss arrives in time to fight the Crimson Witch, and apparently those weren't just special effects earlier. They really do have the powers associated with their character. It's actually a pretty badass introduction.
I wonder. Let me try something. Yep, that's much better.
You'll never stop me.
Yay, she said another phrase!
The witch escapes just as the others arrive on the scene, and of course, only Shaggy and Scooby actually saw Kiss using their powers. But since they faint after the encounter with the witch, when they bring it up later, the others don't believe them.
Velma's role in the movie is mostly to serve as the logical or scientific one, debunking how Kiss could have superpowers. Which, while this somewhat makes sense for Velma's character, it really doesn't give her a ton to do.
The Crimson Witch in her plans to bring total devastation to this world. They must go now, or all is lost.
Whoa! Who let the crazy person in?
Oh, that's just the superstitious psychic who tells fortunes in the park, Chikara. They kind of come standard in a Scooby Doo movie.
She's just a red herring, isn't she?
Yes. And once again, everyone splits up to investigate, with, of course, Daphne going with Starchild, who continues to show that he is interested in her.
Still creepy.
Fred goes with them to keep an eye on Daphne, leading to a rather funny scene of Fred and Starchild vying for her affections.
Daphne finds a trapdoor, and Starchild and Fred both go down. We cut to Velma and Spaceman, who go to visit Chikara to ask her about her really vague warning earlier.
And get ready, guys, because her explanation for the witch's presence is pretty ridiculous. On another world, Kisteria, the Crimson Witch created a horrible monster called the Destroyer to cause devastation throughout the land. A group of warriors managed to seal the monster in a volcano using numerous musical crystals, which were formed into one large one, creating the Rock of Kisteria. The rock the witch has been screaming about. If the witch gets the rock, she can then free the Destroyer again.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to admit, I didn't think this movie could get any weirder.
Apparently, Kiss are the guardians of this rock, though Velma figures out where she's seen it before.
Wait a second. Is this the rock? The Detroit rock that you received as a gift from the city of Detroit?
That's just a cover story.
Yeah.
Oh. That one hurt a little.
But it is nice to see the frustration between Velma and Chikara. It's pretty entertaining.
The Destroyer will strike fear into your heart.
I know. That's what the poster says.
Fred, Daphne, and Starchild go through the tunnel and find Shandy's special effects lab along with her assistants.
Beth? Christine?
What's wrong?
I hadn't put it together before, but if you're a die-hard Kiss fan, you are really going to appreciate the attention to detail here, including all of the characters' names.
What?
A lot of the names for characters are based on songs or albums. Delilah from Modern Day Delilah, Domino, Beth, Christine from Christine 16, Shandy, Stutter, Chikara, Destroyer, Detroit Rock. Oh, that is stupid!
Well, if nothing else, it shows they have a passion for the material.
Detroit Rock is stupid, and that inclusion of the rock is awful.
You know, you're a real douchebag when you're hungry. Have a Snickers. Better?
No.
The movie points Shandy as a possible suspect since she has the only access key to the chemical lab. Apparently a lot of chemicals have gone missing over the past couple months.
Since everyone mentions the smell of rotten eggs when the red fog appears, I'm guessing sulfur is a component.
After a brief encounter with the witch, Shaggy and Scooby meet up with everyone and they discuss possible suspects.
Wow, nice of them to all have convenient character poses stored in the data bank.
Velma tries to convince Scooby and Shaggy there is no supernatural force at work.
No matter what you think you've seen, there has to be a rational explanation.
Still looking forward to that inevitable dumb explanation.
Kiss opens the box containing the rock, which is a huge black diamond. And of course, that means it's time to trap the monster.
Shaggy and Scooby are the bait.
Yep.
Well, it's nice to see some things never change.
She of course appears and we get another cool battle sequence with her and Kiss.
And then the witch rips a hole in the universe, pulling Shaggy, Scooby, and the Rock through the portal, but Kiss manages to keep the others from being pulled in.
For the next 20 minutes or so, the movie becomes a weird space rock opera.
What kind of drugs were they on when they made this?
Activate the Dynasty Star Portal!
You mean the Ferris wheel?
It's actually a portal to the cosmic realm of Kysteria.
Of course it is.
Oh, I do so love Velma's compulsive need to explain everything in a sarcastic tone.
Kiss then summons their magical instruments, activating the portal with the power of music. And here's the next song, I Was Made for Lovin' You.
Which, admittedly, is a weird song to use in this instance. Using their magical Lego put-together powers, Kiss then creates a spaceship in the shape of a guitar. Rather fitting.
I feel like this is overdoing it even for Kiss.
Oh, get ready, even crazier stuff is coming.
Okay, I have to admit, the animation for the bits in Kysteria is pretty freaking cool.
It's like Scooby Doo meets heavy metal.
Oh, you mean like the animation style is all based on Jack Kirby, artist behind original X-Men, Captain America, Galactus, and others? Did you also know? Oh, what's new Scooby Doo's theme song was done by? Ooh, Simple Plan.
Heck yeah, I knew. I have it on my cell phone at all times.
It's still really silly to hear them saying, I was made for loving you, while chasing after the bad guy.
Unfortunately, the witch manages to nab the Rock and escapes, and the gang meets up with the residents of Kysteria, though not before Velma insists this is all still special effects.
Oh, you sweet summer child.
That must be her.
The older.
She's certainly not the younger.
Ouch.
A shadow has fallen across Kysteria, and your arrival here only confirms the worst.
Okay, are all these aged veteran voice actors drinking bourbon behind the scenes after every line?
Hilariously enough, that's actually Gary Marshall's sister, Penny Marshall, also a veteran actor and director.
Look, I get it. Respect the legacy and everything they did in the past. That's fine. But were they really vital to this movie? Not really at all.
Kiss and the Scooby Gang all need to work together to defeat the witch, leading to some pretty good interactions before they go off to fight her.
Do you mind if I ask where you get your superpowers from?
Rock and roll!
Hey, eyes up here, Daff.
Be careful with that base.
Because it's made from alien technology?
Because it costs more than your house.
It's kind of pointless to still have Velma insist this is all a hoax. We've kind of reached full weird at this point in the movie.
Naturally, Scooby and Shaggy ask the demon how he breathes fire.
The secret to breathing fire is to swallow your fears.
Fears? Like, I didn't know you could eat those.
That's dumb. This whole movie is dumb. You're dumb! Ugh! Gah!
Better.
Yeah.
They catch up to the witch, who reanimates a bunch of statues as harpies to attack the Scooby Gang.
I'll go after her myself. You guys stay and protect the kids.
Oh, great. More babysitting.
I'm with the demon on this one. What was the point of bringing them along anyway?
So Scooby and Shaggy can breathe fire.
No. Oh, come on!
Well done, pathetic scum.
That's a typical greeting from Gene Simmons.
The witch manages to beat up Starchild and break the seal on the destroyer. She then heads back to Earth to watch the impending doom.
Basically, she fulfilled her purpose and they need her out of the scene.
After another discussion about how they need to work together to stop them, they come up with a plan.
Have the non-superpowered humans drive the spaceship while Kiss go on to perform a concert and distract the destroyer.
Well, when you put it like... Okay, yeah, it's pretty silly. They basically just need to use the power of music to stop the bad guy, and it's also a good excuse to play another song.
Let me guess, Detroit Rock City.
How'd you know?
I guessed.
And now it's finally time to see what the destroyer looks like.
Free to destroy. Free to swallow the earth and evil.
A Galactus ripoff?
Not quite
Oh, MODOK. That's even worse.
We get a pretty good musical sequence here, with the Scooby Gang getting chased through the portal by the Destroyer as Kiss sings, creating astral projections of themselves through their instruments to fight against the Destroyer.
They manage to blow up the Destroyer, but the ship explodes as well, throwing the Scooby Gang through the portal back to Earth, but they are saved thanks to crowd surfing.
They wake up in the sick room, and Fred has apparently gotten a report about the residue left by the witch he had sent into the lab earlier.
Her witch haze is really a gas that messes with your senses and creates illusions.
Wait, that's the explanation for all this trippy garbage? Drugs?
Kinda, yeah.
That is disappointing.
Apparently, the mass hallucination was a distraction for the Crimson Witch to steal the Black Diamond.
And we get a scientific explanation for her crazy powers.
And here's the magnetic repulsor field belt she used for flying. Ooh, Plush Research Laboratory. Good stuff.
Nice little Easter egg there.
Okay, so who's the witch? The chemical expert Shandy? The crazy psychic Chikara?
No, it's the character we've seen the least.
She's Delilah Domino, the head of security.
After all the crazy stuff we saw, I'm kind of disappointed that Kiss doesn't have superpowers after all.
My plan was perfect, and I would have gotten away with it too if it hadn't been for you meddling kids. You meddling kids!
Better? So, Kiss thanks the Scooby Gang for their help.
Thanks, Mr. Demon.
My pleasure.
Ew. And the romance between Daphne and Starchild is finally completed.
I leave you with a kiss.
Gross.
Agreed. Velma is glad that everything came together in a scientific explanation, but just when you think that...
So, was it a dream or not?
Yeah, it turns out Kiss really does have superpowers and all that stuff really did happen, but of course only Shaggy and Scooby know that. Of course.
You think we should tell her?
Nuh-uh. Why rock her world?
Good point.
And that's the end? What?
That was kick-ass!
Okay, I'm gonna try to be as fair as possible with this. One, the animation is very well done, especially the space and battle sequences. It feels like you're watching a different film than the Saturday morning hippie and dumb dog show. Two, the music from Kiss does add a great soundtrack, and it doesn't feel like they just layered in old tracks from the 70s. These songs feel like more recent recordings, and it adds a nice touch to hear remastered versions of the songs to add to the scenes, much like original Scooby Doo episodes and the chase sequences. Three, if you are a Kiss fan, you aren't going to be upset by this. All of the current band members at the time of recording did their own voice work in the movie, and they were faithful to the source material. However, for about 50% of this movie, I felt myself becoming dumber while watching. There are more plot holes here than the mesh t-shirts from Hot Topic that all the concert attendees were wearing. One, if they did have superpowers all along, how did Delilah know about Kissteria? How could she summon the Destroyer? Two, if it all was a hallucination, then how did all these people have the identical hallucination? They don't have a hive mind or all have the same mass dream or hallucination like in Saved by the Bell. Three, why did she need to have the concert canceled? Wouldn't it have made more sense to have it happen and then steal the diamond during the show? Four, just on basic stuff like the tour manager not wanting the band to perform. He would make a ton of cash and merch if the band played at a huge event. Even if they comped every fan of the amusement park, they still would take home a lot of money. I could go on for an hour.
You're trying to find logic in a movie where Scooby Doo teams up with Kiss by traveling to another dimension to stop a Marvel villain ripoff. An impossible task. And besides, there's a lot of really cool stuff you can find in this movie. You mentioned the actors earlier. Here's something I bet you didn't catch. Did you recognize the voices of the workers in the beginning?
No.
It's Jay and Silent Bob.
Why?
Because why not? And the Destroyer is played by another famous musician, Darius Rucker.
Hootie?
Yeah, but there's a lot of voice manipulation there, so it's not that much of a surprise if you didn't catch it. Even if you only have a passing knowledge of Kiss like me, this movie is still a lot of fun, and not knowing much about Kiss doesn't take away from the enjoyment of the film. You might not notice small things like the names of the characters being songs or small nods to various character tropes. However, you can tell they really did their homework with this and went all out, not just with presentation, but also a strong, if not weird, story. And that's basically Kiss in a nutshell.
And you seriously need to take this shock collar off my ankle before I burn this entire hotel down. In a nutshell.
Okay. No problem.
You know, you're lucky I don't call the cops for something like this, you psycho.
Bye!
Ridiculous.
Oh, Luke. Come play with us. You know, there's really nothing personal about this, except for me, because, fuck you.
Yeah, you know, Calluna just wanted to do a crossover with you on Scooby Doo Meets Kids.
It's funny, right? It's all
it's hilarious.
It was innocent. I don't care. I don't care what she put you up to. You are not getting in my head with that stupid, ridiculous makeup. I don't really want to know what you have planned. Leave me out of it and tell her to leave me alone as well.
What's that guy's problem? It's too much simple plan.
Stupid Calluna.
Hey, Luke, how was the concert?
Oh, you too. Really? I'd have more respect for you. Ha 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 ha. You're not funny. Calluna's not smart. You're not getting in my head. And you look ridiculous.
Man, what a wanker. Hey, Luke, how's it going?
Luke? You stay away from me, Canadian. I haven't forgiven you for Jack Kroger yet.
I have to live journal. Luke, are you okay? Did you just hook up with a cosplayer and did she offer you drugs?
Just stay away from me. I know you're both in on this.
Hey, Luke, how's it going?
Stop getting in my head! Nash.
Luke?
Nash, I'm at Magfest.
Luke, are you alright? What's happening?
I beat up Yomarz.
Okay, it's gonna be alright. Where are you exactly?
Oh, there's kiss makeup on my hands. I don't know.
Kiss makeup. Alright, just come up to my room. I'm in 912.
Well, the cosplayers got to you too, eh?
Magfest is intense.
It's a conspiracy. A kiss conspiracy. Stupid jerk-faced Calluna is trying to mess with my head, having a ton of people wear kiss makeup, and she's not messing with me anymore.
What the heck is wrong with your face?
What are you talking about? Oh no.
He's here.
I want to rock and roll. No. Stop.
Every day.
No.
Roll all night and party every day.
Is this how your crossovers usually end?
50-50. Huh.
Hey, Calluna, I'm ready for my crossover!
You're all weirdos.